Good morning, boys and girls. Today we're learning about the writing process and how to write a compare and contrast paragraph. Throughout the lesson, if you need any help or if I need to go slower, because it is one longer lesson than we've had before and with a lot of more information, I know some of us need to go slower. It's okay. Raise your hand and be like, Miss Vanessa, can you please go slower? I am not capturing, understanding what you're saying. If you ever want me to repeat anything, it's fine by me. I know this is a long lesson, so it's important that we are all in this together, and you always have your students, your peers around you to help you also. With that being said, let's begin our lesson. So I have can we all take out our academic language journals where we write every lesson we have? We always write the definitions of some academic language that we've learned in that lesson, that certain lesson. And today we have a few. So I really want you all to write these two down first, and then throughout the lesson we'll have more to add. So let's see. The writing process. This is the steps and methods used to generate a finished piece of writing. And then when we compare and contrast, this means we're finding similarities and differences between two nouns. Okay, David has a question. David, yes? Okay, David wants to know what a noun is. I know this is in our academic language journal already, but it's okay. We can refresh our memories. Let's see, Samantha, would you mind helping David? What is a noun? Do you know? Great job. So Samantha said it's a person, place, or thing. Do you understand, David? Okay, great job. You see, this is why we can always ask me or any peer, and we'll be willing to help. So let's take a look at this paragraph that I'm handing out. Here you go, everyone. Let's see. So what we're gonna do is identify the topic sentence. Does anyone remember when we did the lesson about main ideas and supporting details? I know we have a few academic language in our journal too that define the main idea, supporting details, the topic sentence. Yes, great job, everyone. Everyone knows what I'm talking about. If you were to hear that day, you can always ask a friend later to check their journal and write those words down, or you can always come to me and we'll go over some more academic language that you missed. So let's do that now. So we're going to identify the topic sentence first. Can someone tell me what the topic sentence is again? Great job, Nicole. The topic sentence is what our paragraph, what our story is going to be about. It holds the main idea of the whole story, correct? So when we're reading, we're gonna underline the topic sentence, and then we're going to circle supporting details. Okay, David, great job. David knows what supporting details are. Would you mind? It's okay if you're not comfortable. Okay. Samantha wants to answer. It's okay. Samantha, would you like to answer what supporting details? Yes. Supporting details are those details that help support the main idea, the topic sentence, how we prove that that's the topic sentence, correct? And then when we're identifying the supporting details, what we're going to do is circle them, okay, when we're reading. And then lastly, we're going to star the conclusion sentence, the ending, the clincher. Who knows what that is? Okay, Eric, good job. Eric says that the clincher, the conclusion sentence, is usually at the end of an essay, of a paragraph, of a story, and that is what ties everything together, what ties the whole paragraph, the whole story together. All right, now that we've identified what we're going to circle, star, underline, let's read. So sample 1. Follow along while I read the paragraph. Okay. Baseballs and footballs are very different balls, but have some similarities. A baseball and football can be thrown very far. Both balls can be caught by an individual. They have leather laces, which provide a grip for holding and throwing the ball. Unlike a football whose shape is oval like a diamond, a baseball is round like an orange. Although you hit a baseball with a bat, you kick a football through the goalpost, pass it by throwing, or run with the ball. While they are both made of leather, a football is made of 4 pieces, and a baseball is made of 2 pieces. Baseballs and footballs have some similarities, but there are definite differences. Before I ask what we are going to identify, please keep in mind that we're talking about a American football. I know that some of us know soccer, and that's what we call it in Mexico, football. But when we're talking about the supporting details, we can assume we know that it's American football. But for those that really don't know how a American football looks like, and they just think about football in Spanish, it's okay. And I just wanted to say that before we begin. So, who can tell me what the topic sentence? What should I underline? Great job, Diana. Diana said I should underline baseballs and footballs are very different balls but have some similarities. Does everyone agree with that? Just give me a thumbs up. Okay, good job. Yes, so we're going to underline that. So please underline that. And now, David, would you mind, since you know what supporting details are, would you mind giving me one example? Okay, thank you. So David said a baseball and football can be thrown very far. That is a great supporting detail. Samantha, give me another one. Okay, good job. They have leather laces which provide a grip for holding and throwing the ball. And what provides leather laces? Great job, the football. And then one last one. So let's see, Kyle, give me one last one. Oh, good job. Although you hit a baseball with a bat, you kick a football through the goalpost, pass it by throwing, or run with the ball. Great job. So, I know there's a lot more and you can circle those, but as you can see, those are the details that support that we're talking about baseballs and footballs, correct? Lastly, we're going to put a star next to the conclusion, the clincher. And Nicole, since you knew what the conclusion was, what do you think the conclusion sentence is for this? Great job. Nicole said baseballs and footballs have some similarities, but there are definite differences. Great job, students. So everything we have just identified in this paragraph, it has to do with the structure of the paragraph. Now that we understand the structure, let's compare and contrast 2 items so that we are learning how to compare and contrast. We're practicing that. The more practice we do, the easier this gets, correct? So what should we do? What can we compare and contrast? 2 items that can be similar, but can also be different between 2 nouns. Great job. David said we should do an apple and an orange. So let's do that. I'm going to erase this. I hope everyone has written them down. If not, they're going to be on the other whiteboard later today to write down in our journal. So let's see. Let's draw a T-chart. So we're going to draw a T-chart down the center. And then it looks like this. Can everyone please do that in a notebook page that they have, any notebook? Okay, so, and Dave said we should compare an apple. So on the left side, we're going to write the similarities. Similarities. If you need help spelling, I have it up here. Let me just write these quick. And then differences on the right side. And then up here, we're going to put apple versus orange, correct? Because those are the 2 nouns that we are identifying. And they are nouns because they are 2 objects, which makes it a thing, correct? So, we have similarities and differences. So with the raise of your hand, we're all going to discuss the differences and similarities between these 2, apple and orange. So who can tell me the first anything? Raise your hand. Okay, Samantha, great job. They are both fruit. So we're going to write they are both fruits. Okay, David has another one, and this is a differences. Okay, what is the difference? Yes, that they are different colors. Different colors. Who can give me a similarity? Nicole? Yes, good job. They grow on trees. And then, what's another difference? Eric, an apple has a stem. Good job. Apple has a stem. And then, let's see, let's do two more. Healthy, they're healthy. Good job. Whoever said healthy. Let's see, another difference. They're different texture. Okay. Different texture. And we're gonna do one more for each. Who can give me one more? Okay, good job. So, Diana said they're both round. And then Alice said that you need to peel the skin of an orange. Need to peel the skin of an orange to eat it. To eat. All right. Great work, students. As a class, we were able to compare and contrast an apple and an orange. Now that we seen and modeled how to compare and contrast, let's write down some other topics that we can compare and contrast. David, is this a good speed Yes, okay. And if you need help after, we can have a one-on-one. Okay, sounds good. Okay. And then Kyle, you too. And Eric, you too. Okay. Just making sure that we're all in this together, right? We're a class for a reason. Okay, so now let's see. Let's brainstorm. Who can tell me what brainstorming is? Yes, Samantha, when we share all of our ideas and come up with a lot more. So let's see, what other topics that you can think of that you might want to compare and contrast in your paragraph that you're gonna have to write at the end of the class. Let's hear different topics. Just scream them out. Okay, good job. Cold chocolate milk versus, who tells me the opposite? Versus hot chocolate. Good job. What's another one? Cats and dogs. Yeah. Cats and dogs. Let's do three more. Okay. Winter and summer. Good job. Winter/summer. These are all good. Great job. What we just read, David, right? Football and baseball. Football/baseball. And then one more. Who can give me one more? Breakfast and dinner. Breakfast/dinner. Wow, these are all great ideas that we can that we brainstormed, that we could discuss the similarities and differences. If when we get to our paragraph that we have to write, don't worry if it's not on the list. It's just your own idea. It just was to brainstorm and get an idea, get a sense of what is what we're looking for, right? So let's pick one of these topics and let's compare and contrast again. Now that we've practiced once with the apple and the orange, let's model how to do another one. So let's all do dog and cat from our list. Okay, so once again, I'm going to draw a T-chart. And I'm going to put similarities on the left. Let's do this on your notebook. Follow along, please. Similarities and differences on our right. And then we're going to put dog versus cat on top. Like this. Great job. I'll give you a few minutes, David. I know, sorry. This was kind of rushed. And Eric, Kyle. Yes, okay. All right, so now that ready? Okay, thank you for letting me know. So, who can give me a similarity? Yeah, good job, David. They're both animals. Nicole, give me a difference. Cats use a litter box. Okay, cats use a litter box. Great job. And now, what's another similarity? Samantha? Okay, they are house pets. That's a good one. Good job. House pets. What's a difference, Kyle? Dogs can bark. Good job. Dogs can bark. Eric, give me a similarity. They have tails. Both dogs and cats have tails. They have tails. Okay, and then what's another difference? Kyle. Yes, cats can meow. Good job. Cats can meow. And then let's do one more for each. So Nicole, give me a similarity. They're four-legged. Good job. They're both four-legged animals, right? Four-legged. And then one last difference. Let's see. Alice. Okay. Cats don't need to be walked. Cats don't need to be walked. So now that we have our similarities and differences, great practice. As we can see, there are some things that are different from both and some similarities that both of them shared. Great job. You are all doing amazing. Let's take a 5-minute break so that you can all, if you have any questions, come up to me, because this was a lot of information, I know. So let's take 5 minutes and then you can always ask a partner or come to me and I will help you out. Okay? Sounds good. All right, boys and girls, now that we've had our 5-minute break, let's continue with our lesson about the process approach to writing. The process approach to writing consists of 5 stages. And we're going to take a look at those 5 stages. So, once again, the writing process, the writing approach is the steps taken to write a well-developed essay, story, book, anything. So, they consist of 5 stages. So we're going to see. Please take notes, follow along. I'm going to go slow with notes. I understand. If I'm going too fast, once again, don't be afraid to tell me. So 5 stages. So the first stage, the first stage is pre-writing. So the first stage is pre-writing. Also, these definitions are going to be here. I'm going to hand you out these definitions because there is a lot. So it's okay if you just keep this paper. So the first stage is pre-writing. This is where we think about what we want to write. This is where we brainstorm a list of topics. Yes, Samantha, like we brainstormed all these different topics that we can compare and contrast. That would be our first step in on our first stage of pre-writing, because we're getting our ideas, we're starting to turn our wheels. We're going to start writing, so we have to brainstorm a list of things that we know about. This can include our background knowledge, so what we already know, and any new knowledge, right? So once you have those topics, then you can talk about those topics with others. So sharing, discussing, and then choose one that you would like to write about. For example, we chose dogs and cats from our list that we brainstormed, correct? Yes. Is this a good speed? Okay, thank you. Yes, so when we list ideas about the topics, we make a web, a map, a list. Like I just did a simple list, and then we also did in another lesson, we worked with a graphic organizer. We will see this later in our lesson and review those graphic organizers, but there's so many that we can make to organize our ideas, right? So the second stage in writing is the rough draft. So the rough draft is where you put your ideas in a narrative form. Here are some rough draft rules. David, Eric, Kyle. Yeah, so okay, they have a question like, do you have to go through, you have to spell everything right? Like, no, this is where you just put all those brainstorm ideas and just put them on paper, and then you figure out how it sounds later, right? This is just to literally physically put it on paper so we can start your structure of the paragraph or the story of the book that you're writing. Okay, so here are some rough draft rules. Please take a look at the paper I've handed out. They have a few rules that you should always remember when you're in the second stage. So write in pencil on one side only. Why should we write in pencil? We always say graphite. Why should we always write in graphite? Great job, Samantha. Because if we use a pen or a marker or colored pencils, we can't erase our errors, right? Since this is our rough draft, this is where we're just getting started. We can make mistakes and we can do all this. And it's important to use a pencil that we can erase everything, correct? The next rule would be skip lines that will help when you're revising and editing. So why would we have to skip a line? Who can tell me why? It's okay if you don't know. Okay, we skip a line because when we're editing and when we're like erasing a word or maybe underlining or crossing out, it's important that we have that extra space so that we can write out what we want to insert instead, or what we're taking out on there, right? And then the next rule is save everything you write, even if you don't use it right away. So just save all your rough drafts, because maybe you can pick and grab an idea from each rough draft, right? Anything from what you write, and then all those details, all those ideas together can make a perfect paragraph, right? So then the other rule is no erasing. Use editing marks or put a line through it. So I know I mentioned that pencils are easy to erase, but it's important to not to erase. You can always, that's why we use the extra line, so that you can substitute or you can cross out and then put something under, right? And then always remember to put your name on every page, number every page, label as draft 1, draft 2, draft 3, pre-writing notes, etc. It's important to keep organized, and maybe say you really liked your rough draft 2, but you never labeled it. You would have to figure out which one is the one you want to choose, right? And then date your work every day. So say you started this on Monday and maybe you made another rough draft on Friday. You should always label them so that you know which one's the most recent rough draft. Yes, if I'm going too fast, I'm sorry. Like, I will slow down, and don't worry, after class we can discuss one-on-one. We have throughout the week, I will be pairing one-on-one with those who need help, and explaining those stages. And then through practicing, I really hope that this paper, that you can keep and then you can reread, and those steps are really important. So the third stage is revising. So this is where you improve your piece of writing by rereading it and sharing it with others and making changes. So this is where you're going to start clarifying, adding details, so you improve the content of the writing. So this is where you go in and add those details that you said you were going to take out those details. This is you're revising and making a whole new piece of writing. And then the fourth stage is editing. Editing is after you're happy with what your piece says, so after you revised and you know that this is the piece that you want, this is where you're making the final, where you're ready to edit. So this is where you correct the grammar, punctuation, form and sentence structure of your work. David, you have a question? What's punctuation? Yes, punctuation is like a period, a comma, a semicolon, a apostrophe. We do have a book in class that we can you can look at for grammar work and punctuation help. And if you ever need help, I will assist you in that after. Yeah, so that is editing, where you're going in and taking all those little grammar, the punctuation, how it looks, the structure of it. So, and the fifth and last stage is publishing. Great job, students. Publishing. So this is when you're ready to recopy the edited draft, and you're ready to put it out there for everyone to read, everyone to see. So here are some key things to remember. They should be on the same note paper that I passed out. Yes, so you should always use the correct heading. So write what you're heading. Write on one side only. Do not skip lines. This should look proper. This should look formal. This should look put together, right? Use ink. White out if needed. So if you do mess up when you're using pen, this is where you can go with the white out. But now we're using ink, so no more pencils, right? And then use correct paragraph form. So this is where from our editing, we are looking at our sentence structure. This is where we're finally fixing that. And then at the end, you can share your piece. You copy, edit it, draft it carefully, and then you share your piece for everyone to see. We will work through this throughout the week and throughout this lesson, so don't be afraid. I know it's a lot of stages, but once we are physically doing it hands-on, you'll get the hang of it. I just know it. So now that we've learned about the writing process, let's take a look at descriptive language. Descriptive language. So I'm going to pass out this page that says adjectives. This one, it should look like this. And we're going to describe adjectives. So that is one form of descriptive language, adjectives. So make sure to write these terms in your academic journal. Please take them out for your academic language journal. So adjectives are used to make